Apples, apples, and apples once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to welcome you to Fruit of the Day, the one and only apple. So maybe you love apples, maybe you like apple pie, maybe you have even given your teacher an apple. Maybe it was yesterday. Well, whatever the case may be, guys, please listen on. Why? Because we're about to learn quite a bit of information about the wonderful apple. All right, first up, just a little bit of background information. Apples are the fruit of the tree known as Malus domestica. Interesting. Hundreds of varieties of apples are in existence today. There are skins that range in color from bright red to yellow, green, pink, or bi or tri-colored patterns. Nice. They also come in a range of different tastes and levels of sweetness. Also, it's estimated that there are about 2,500 known varieties of apples that are grown in the United States alone, and more than 7,500 varieties grown in the world. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We now know quite a bit more information about the one and only apple. All right, now it's time to dive into a few fun facts. Did you know that there are several different common types of apples? As a matter of fact, there are 19 different types. That's right. So I want to go through all 19 types right now. First, and it's probably the most popular, would be the Red Delicious. Then we have the Honey Crisp, which are actually my favorite. We have Fuji, Gala, Granny Smith, Macintosh, Cortland, Golden Delicious, Empire, Brayburn, Envy, Jazz, Cameo, Jonna Gold, Rome, McCoon, Zestar, Mutsu, and Ambrosia. Wow, how interesting. So once again, fun facts, there are 19 types of apples. All right, now normally I like to give you a lot of fun facts like I just did, but because we're talking about apples today, I thought I would give you the not so fun facts, right? So here we go. Apple trees are prone to a number of fungal, bacterial, and pest problems, which are controlled by a number of organic and non-organic means. Now, what does that mean? It means that apples are very, very popular. Not only do humans consume apples, but it looks like fungi love apples, bacteria love apples, and also insects love apples too. Nice. This is why apples are often heavily sprayed with chemicals, pesticides, and herbicides. Now, that's not a good thing. Here's the last little not so fun fact. The skin of apples is also commonly covered in a protective layer of wax to seal in their freshness, but ideally you'll find a kind that is unwaxed and organic. Now, you probably wonder why when you go to the grocery store, why are apples so shiny? Well, there's the answer. They've been covered with a substance called wax. That's right, which gives them their shiny appeal. And it also helps to lock in their freshness. But at the same time, you have to understand that that wax comes from a processed chemical, which does the body no good. So there are a few techniques that you can use if you care about removing the wax from your apples. So take a look at our picture. There's a simple little technique that you can use. You simply want to combine lemon juice and baking soda, right? Or if you don't have lemon juice and baking soda, you can just use a little bit of warm water. But make sure you use some type of cloth to wipe off and rinse the apples, therefore removing all of the different pesticides and herbicides and chemicals and the wax. So please make sure you clean off your apples once you bring them home from the grocery store. Okay? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the not so fun facts about apples. All right, now it's time to dive into the 520 rule. Ladies and gentlemen, the 520 rule is all about food labels. That's right. Basically, it's a guide. It's a guide that lets you know whether or not a food item, such as an apple, is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, when we talk about the 520 rule, specifically, we're talking about the percent daily value, abbreviated percent DV. If we take a look at our sample food label, you'll see here that percent daily value is highlighted in lavender, right? And then we have some nutrients that are highlighted in yellow, and then we have others that are highlighted in light blue. Now, when it comes to the nutrients that are highlighted in yellow, such as total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium, well, those nutrients, we really want to select foods that have a low percent daily value when it comes to those nutrients. Why? Well, because they do a very good job at promoting disease. That's right. When we look at the nutrients that are highlighted in light blue, such as dietary fiber, vitamins, and minerals, well, when it comes to the 520 rule, we want to make sure that the food item has a higher percentage of those particular nutrients. Why? Well, because they do a good job at promoting health, not disease. Now, let's be a little more specific when we talk about the 520 rule. Ladies and gentlemen, if a food item, such as an apple, offers you anywhere from 0% to 9% DV, then technically the food item, the apple, is not a good source of that particular nutrient. If it offers 10% to 19% DV, then it is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. And lastly, if the food item offers 20% DV or greater, then it is considered an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We now are fully aware of the 520 rule. All right, so now that we're aware of the 520 rule, let's now dive into the nutrition facts of apples. Guys, today we're going to say that a serving of apple is equivalent to one medium apple. So when we eat an apple, this is what we put into the body. Only about 94.6 calories, about 25.1 grams of carbs, 0.5 grams of protein, 0.3 grams of fat. Notice 4.4 grams of fiber. Yummy. Now vitamin C comes in at 14% DV, which makes an apple, or at least a medium apple, a good source of vitamin C. It also has potassium, but it's only at 6% DV, so technically apples are not a good source of potassium. And then we have vitamin K coming in at 5%, so it's not a good source of vitamin K. Vitamin B6 only at 4%, not necessarily a good source of vitamin B6. And lastly is manganese coming in at only 3% DV. So unfortunately, the apple is not a good source of manganese, but it's still there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have the nutrition facts of apples. All right, now it's time to dive into the health benefits. But before we do, Coach D wants to offer you this. It's time to talk about the principle of cause and effect, which basically states that every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. There is no such thing as chance and or luck. In other words, everything happens for a reason. So I say that to say this. If you're looking to become healthy, then guess what? You have to create it or you have to cause it. If, on the other hand, you are diseased, well, believe it or not, you cause that disease to happen. That's right. So when we talk about the nutrient contents versus the health benefits, well, it's very simple. The nutrients are the causes and the health benefits are the effects. That's right. So let's take a look at what happens once we eat more apples. Number one, they fight heart disease. Number two, they're high in fiber. Now, if you've been watching Coach D's videos, you already know that Coach D considers fiber to be nature's plumber. In other words, it helps to keep your tubes clean, meaning your GI tract, i.e. your colon, and also your blood vessels. Very nice. Also, it improves digestive health, right? It's a good source of vitamin C. Now, vitamin C has hundreds upon hundreds of functions inside the human body, but one of its most important functions is that it helps to stimulate your immune system. In other words, it helps to fight off colds. Very nice. Also, apples can help you manage your weight. That's right. So whether you're looking to lose weight or manage your weight, it's very simple. Eat more apples. Also, apples may help fight diabetes. It may help fight asthma symptoms. Also, it's a high source of boron. Now, many of you may be wondering, well, what in the world is boron? Well, boron is a trace element, or we can say a trace mineral, that once it's inside the body, it actually does a very good job at maintaining strong bones. So, if you want to remember what it does, just remember the letter B. Boron helps the body have strong bones. Boron for bones. There you go. Also, helps prevent inflammation. Great. And also, it's a great source of antioxidants. Now, antioxidants, believe it or not, are very, very good for the body. Why? Well, they do a few things. Number one, they help fight cancer. And number two, they help slow down the aging process. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lots and lots and lots of health benefits from the one and only apple. All right, now it's time to go to our website for everything vegan. Say hello to forksoverknives.com. And if you haven't seen the movie, please do so. Guys, forksoverknives.com is our go-to website for everything vegan. So as usual, I go to the site, do a little bit of research, and I pull out amazing vegan dishes to share with you. So the first one is green apple slaw. Take a look at the picture. Looks delicious. Our second recipe is cranberry apple crisp. Take a look at that picture. Looks scrumptious. Now, if you are so inclined to make and taste one, if not both of these dishes, then all you have to do is click on the description box. Why? Because I'm providing you with direct links to each of these recipes. So click on the link and here's what you'll find. You'll find the ingredient list, you'll find the cooking time, and you'll also find the instructions. So make it, taste it, and let Coach D know. All right? Thank you. Okay. Now, some people may say, well, Coach D, I really appreciate the not so fun facts. I really appreciate the background information. I even appreciate the health benefits. But Coach D, what I really want to know is, when should I eat more apples? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the perfect day, and I do mean the perfect day to eat more apples, is Nature Day. What? Nature Day? Yes, Nature Day. All right, guys, listen up. Nature Day is the first day of the 23% challenge. Now, perhaps you know nothing about the challenge. Well, in a nutshell, the 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, your relationships, and it also helps to save planet Earth. That's right, only in 7 days. As a matter of fact, it's the first 7 days of every single month, the 1st through the 7th. So, being that Nature Day is the first day of the challenge, that simply means that Nature Day is the very first day of every single month. So whether it's January 1st, June 1st, or even August 1st, it's always Nature Day. All right, so maybe at this time I have piqued your interest, right? And you want to learn more about Nature Day? Well, here we go. Nature Day is all about getting closer to nature. Now, yes, there are lots of things that you can do to get closer to nature. You can go take a nature walk. You can go swim in the ocean. Or you can go visit a petting zoo, right? But Coach D wants to offer you this. Let's get closer to nature by simply eating it. That's right, guys. It's time to eat more plants. Now, maybe you're thinking about transitioning to a more whole food, plant-based diet, or maybe you just want to start eating more plants. Well, if that's you, then today I want to offer you three different types of veganism that I believe can help you make that transition. So first I want to talk about a 3% vegan. Now a 3% vegan is anyone, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only one day out of an entire month. That's right, only one day. Now perhaps that one day could be the very first day of the month, i.e. Nature Day. The second type is a 13% vegan. Now, a 13% vegan is anyone, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 4 days out of an entire month. That's right, guys, only 4 days. Now, that could be the first 4 days of the month, or it could be one day per week, providing the month has 4 weeks. And the last type is a 23% vegan. Now, technically, that's what Coach D considers himself to be. Now, a 23% vegan is equivalent to consuming only plant foods the first 7 days of the month. That's right, guys, the first through the seventh. So now, a lot of you may be wondering, well, Coach D, what kind of plant foods do you eat the first 7 days of every month? Well, it's very simple. All fruits, all vegetables and herbs, all whole grains, all nuts and seeds, and all legumes, meaning beans and peas. And of course, I only drink water. No sodas, no milk, no alcoholic beverages, and definitely no sports drinks. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We now know what Nature Day is all about. All right. Now, perhaps you are interested in participating in Nature Day. Maybe you want to try the 3% vegan, the 13% vegan, or maybe you want to be like Coach D and go for the whole first 7 days, right? Making you a 23% vegan. Well, if that's you, then I would like to offer you a few tips. Why? Because I want your Nature Day to be successful, right? So, tip number one is to go to your local grocery store. Now, when you get in the grocery store, here's what you're going to do. You're going to spend all of your time in two places. Number one is going to be in the produce section. Why? Well, because that's where all of the fresh plant foods are located. And number two, you can walk on over to the freezer aisle. That's right, where they have the frozen plant foods. Now, believe it or not, frozen plant foods, number one, last longer than the fresh counterparts. And number two, the nutrient content is very, very comparable to the fresh plant foods. Tip number two, go visit a farmer's market. Now, believe it or not, there are lots of advantages to shopping at a farmer's market versus a grocery store. Number one, the food is grown locally and organically, which basically means the food is going to contain less pesticides and herbicides and other harmful chemicals. Also, because it's grown locally, that means less transportation time. Now, that saves the farmer a lot of money, and that savings is then passed on to you, the end consumer. Tip number three is to go to the prepared dishes section of your local grocery store. So, while you're in a grocery store, just take a walk over to the prepared dishes section. Now, some stores may call it the kitchen. Here's what you're going to do when you get over to the kitchen. Talk to the person behind the counter and ask them if they have any vegan or vegetarian options. Ask for a taste, and providing you like it, purchase the food by the pound or maybe even get 2 pounds, especially if you're the type of person who loves to do meal prep. Tip number four is to go visit a vegan restaurant. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting this is for two reasons. Number one, it's always a good idea to help out the wellness community. And number two, well, a shoemaker to his shoes. Vegan restaurants do an amazing job at hiring vegan chefs. Now, the reason why you want to eat from a vegan chef is because number one, they know how to cook plant foods, right? They know which plant foods to combine to give you the best taste. And number 2 is that they know how to cook plant foods so that they're most nutritious, right? So if you decide to go to a vegan restaurant, do 2 things. Number 1, let them know that Coach D sent you. And number 2, be sure to order something that has an apple in it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, 4 tips to help make your nature day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day, which comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. Why? Because we have inquiring minds. So we want to know, how many different types of apples were discussed in the video? Was it 10, 15, or 19? Right? So if you're inclined to answer the question, please write your answer in the comment box below. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. Now, before I sign off, I got to ask you to please subscribe, like, and share the video, especially if you love apples. Also, don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's hashtag eat more plants. As stated earlier, my name is Coach D. I'm signing off, but always remember to take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.